You wake up one morning early, as you often do now that you're older, and you notice it again. That same spot, that same itch right there on your back, just below your shoulder blade. It's persistent and nagging, invisible thread pulling at your attention. You shrug it off. Maybe it's dry skin, maybe it's nothing, but something in the back of your mind won't let it go. Something primal. You sense that your body is trying to say something. Whispering, not yelling. And in those whispers lies a truth that many people ignore until it's far too late. Now I need you to understand something deeply uncomfortable. After the age of 60, your body doesn't merely age. It sends signals. It cries out in ways subtle and strange to let you know that something is off. But most people don't want to listen. They brush it off. They itch, they scratch, and they move on. And that right there can be the beginning of the end. See, there's this idea, and I've spoken about this countless times, that we are not just passive observers of our health. We are active participants in the unfolding tragedy or triumph of our lives. Is the career triumph of our lives. The problem is that people have become alienated from their own flesh, from the very vehicle that carries them through existence. It's as though the body is a burden to endure rather than a mystery to attend to. But when the body starts to itch, not just once, but repeatedly, and always in the same place, especially after 60, it's time to pay attention. The first time I heard the story of Martha, a 68-year-old woman who kept scratching her lower legs, I was struck by how easily this could be anyone. Her doctors dismissed it as eczema. She thought it might be stress, but the itch didn't go away. It got worse, more relentless. She would wake up clawing at her skin. It wasn't until a sharp young internist decided to dig deeper that they discovered she was on the brink of developing type 2 diabetes. Her blood sugar levels were dangerously high. That itch, that constant prickling torment, wasn't just a surface irritation. It was a signal from her pancreas, a cry from her insulin-deprived cells, a red flag waving furiously in the wind, and she had ignored it for over a year. It's so easy to do that. You tell yourself, it's just dry air, or I must have eaten something, or it's age. But here's the brutal reality. After 60, there are no adjusts. There is no luxury of dismissiveness. Every symptom is a story, and every story has consequences. Now imagine this. An itch right at the base of your neck. Mild, sporadic. You think it's your shampoo, maybe the detergent. But it persists, quietly. You forget about it for weeks, then suddenly it returns with a vengeance. It feels almost electric. That's what happened to Harold. He was 72. Healthy, or so he thought. The itching became maddening, and eventually it spread. When he finally sought help, it turned out to be a type of lymphoma, a slow-growing cancer that had been quietly stirring inside him for years. That itch was the earliest symptom, the only warning sign his body could muster. The tragedy is not just the cancer. It's the silence that preceded the scream. So what does this mean for you? It means that if your body begins to itch, not randomly, but repeatedly, in specific locations, you must be willing to face the possibility that something is wrong. And not just wrong in some vague existential sense. Wrong in a tangible, medical, life-shortening sense. Especially if the itch comes with no rash, no clear cause, no environmental trigger. There is something unnerving about unexplained sensations. They poke at the edge of your consciousness. And when you're over 60, that unease, that discomfort is not a coincidence. It's a call to action. You might feel an itch on your arms. Frequent, dry, like a crawling sensation. That could be poor kidney function. Your body's filtration system deteriorating quietly, leading to a buildup of toxins just beneath the surface of your skin. And your skin, faithful communicator that it is, tries desperately to get your attention. And this is where the emotional weight of this knowledge really strikes. Because the body doesn't lie, it doesn't exaggerate, it doesn't deceive. When it speaks with all the honesty you wish your friends and family did. But you have to be willing to listen. And that's the real test, isn't it? Not whether you itch, but whether you ignore. There's a man I knew, a professor, brilliant mind, sharp wit. He began experiencing a peculiar itching around his groin. Embarrassed, he didn't tell anyone. He changed soaps. He took antihistamines. But the itch remained. Months later, he was diagnosed with liver disease, advanced. Too late to reverse. The skin in that region had been trying to excrete bile salts that his damaged liver could no longer process. His body, faithful servant, had been trying to compensate. And all it got in return was disregard. The great tragedy of aging is not the loss of youth, but the loss of vigilance. When we are young, a cough is cause for concern. A bruise is inspected. But after 60, we've normalized decline. We chalk everything up to it just getting older. And in doing so, we surrender the very power we still have, our capacity to notice, to intervene, to change course. An itchy scalp could be nothing. But if it's persistent, if it's severe, if it comes with fatigue and thinning hair, could be a sign of an autoimmune condition like lupus or thyroid dysfunction. These aren't minor inconveniences. These are conditions that, left unchecked, steal years from your life. Your body doesn't itch for fun. It itches with purpose. There's a moral dimension to this as well. You have a responsibility to yourself and to those who love you to steward your health with the same diligence you would your finances or your family. Imagine knowing that your granddaughter will graduate in 3 years. Do you want to be there for it? Then you must treat your body's whispers as if they matter. Because they do. They are not small complaints. They are sacred messages from the unconscious layers of your biology, telling you that the architecture of your being is under threat. There's a story I often tell about ancient myths. The hero must descend into chaos to bring back order. And here the chaos is discomfort. It's the strange itch, the unexplained irritation, the odd tingling that wasn't there before. You were being invited into that chaos so that you might emerge wiser, healthier, but only if you're willing to go there. Only if you're willing to ask the hard question. What does this mean? What is my body trying to say? There's no virtue in denial. There's no honor in pretending. If your foot itches constantly, especially at night, and especially around the toes, you might be dealing with circulatory issues, neuropathy, even undiagnosed diabetes. Your nerves are decaying under the surface, and they're warning you. Not because they want to scare you, but because they want to save you. It's easy to pretend that you're fine. It's comfortable. But comfort is the enemy of growth, especially in old age. And there is something profoundly moral about taking ownership of your condition. When you attend to the signals of your body, you affirm life. You say, I will not go quietly. I will not leave this world through the doorway of ignorance. I will fight, first by noticing, then by understanding, and finally by acting. You might be thinking, it's just an itch. But when you're over 60, nothing is just anything anymore. You've entered a new domain where the margin for error is razor thin. The consequences are higher. The stakes are real. And the only way through is vigilance. Your body is not betraying you. It is begging you. It is screaming softly. Listen. Now, I want to speak directly to you, whoever you are, wherever you are in your journey. You owe it to yourself to care. You owe it to the people who would grieve you if you were gone. You owe it to the gift of life itself. Don't dismiss that itch. Don't minimize your discomfort. Don't tolerate what should never be tolerated. Get checked. Ask questions. Demand answers. Because this isn't just about comfort. It's about whether you'll be here in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. People think death comes like a thief in the night. Sometimes it does. But more often it sends notices, a twitch, a tingle, an itch. It gives you signs, small signs, and those signs ignored become fate. So here's your call to action. Take inventory. Where are you itching? How long has it been happening? Is there a pattern? Is there a spot that's been calling to you subtly, persistently? Don't wait for it to escalate. Go see your doctor, demand tests. Ask if it could be something deeper. Because just maybe, that itch is the one thing standing between you and the years you've yet to live. There's no glory in ignorance, but there is immense dignity in awareness. You have a chance right now, this very moment, to change your path, to rewrite your ending. All you have to do is listen to the body you've been given. It always knows.